Oh, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 425 of FloWrestling Radio Live. And every 10 episodes, when I say that, it rhymes. And this is one of those episodes.
Wow.
I'm your host, Christian Piles, joined today by good friends. To my right, David Dylan Duncan Bray.
You got that right.
And to the left, Daniel Roy Lobdell Jr., a.k.a. the Wrestling Nomad, at Wrestling Nomad on Twitter and something else on Instagram. How are we doing today, boys?
Also the Wrestling Nomad on Instagram.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Wow.
Great branding by you.
Tremendous
Good switching
branding.
it up.
Speaking of switching it up, segue time. Jaden Ironmen in the portal.
Going right into it.
Yeah,
Man.
right into it.
Man.
No cold openings
Well,
today.
I saw that my opportunity when he said switch.
Yeah.
And I was already thinking about you with the switch. And Jaydin Eierman wants to switch schools. Mm-hmm. So he's been at Missouri. He's currently Olympic redshirting. He's a 3-time All-American at 141 pounds for Coach Smith's Tigers. And he's leaving. He's going somewhere else. He's kind of born and raised Columbia, right? Been there his whole life.
Yep.
And now for his senior year. And what he basically said, if you haven't heard his interview with Bader, I encourage you to check that out. Bader got on the horn with him. And I don't know if it's the horn, if it's Skype. When is it the horn? We'll know next week if that was on the horn. But they spoke with each other over video chat. And basically Jaden revealed, hey, I'm looking for RTC, someplace I can train long-term and as I pursue my international career of being a world and Olympic champion. He just didn't feel like that was there in Missouri. So the obvious questions are, where is he going to go?
Yeah.
Where's he looking? And he says he knows where he wants to go in the thing. He's like, I know where I want to go.
Biggest
He's
tease
like,
of all
I know what
time.
it's going to be. And Bader's like, can you tell me?
So,
So I can ask the next question, Jaden, or you can just, I think you could read my mind, buddy. I think you know what I'm going to ask.
I
But
appreciated Bader circling back to that question a couple times. Hey, are you sure you can't just tell us?
Tell us what would be the harm in that? You know, we got, high school 8th graders committing to schools. Why can't you just say where you definitely want to go?
Yeah.
Want to throw out a short list of schools?
so he didn't give a school list
No list.
to Bader or anyone that I'm aware of. I never got one. But being that it is RTC related, we have to assume it's a pretty small list and ones that have successful guys on the senior level. So that would be the usual suspects of, say, Penn State, Iowa, Oklahoma State, Ohio State, as far as guys right at the top. And then maybe Arizona State could be thrown in there as well. Iowa State could be thrown in there as well.
And I thought about Nebraska. His dad,
his dad was an All-American
Mike
there.
went there. Yeah, so a lot of good options.
The other thing he said was that this school he wants to go to is a school that he was a fan of, in childhood. So I was like, all right, who was good when he was a child? And also, any of those options, I think, remains on the table. But, I don't know. Feels like maybe closer to that region makes more sense.
The only one that would potentially not rule out, just based on that statement alone, he still could end up going there maybe, is Arizona State.
Yeah.
Sure.
I think he's going to Iowa.
You think that's the clubhouse leader?
I think that's the clubhouse leader.
What makes you say that?
There have been just some Iowa things with Jaden and maybe Mike a little bit going back. Just a somewhat of a educated guess, I guess, at this point. I think it makes sense. I think if you go back to his recruiting, he had offers from Penn State and Iowa, so we talked about this was a school that was in the mix. Obviously, Penn State has to be strongly, even if Jaden's not considering it, Penn State's not considering it right now, you have to say that school because they're in on anyone. You know?
And so as far as the being a fan of them as a child, right? Missouri's right near Iowa. Now, obviously, Columbia raised. I'm sure Tigers also were a huge part of that. But that would make sense geographically with being a fan of them. If you're looking down the road in terms of everything they made sound from what he said to Bader is this is at least a 4-year move, right? I'm going to be
Yeah.
there for my senior year, 2021, and then that whole Olympic quad, which would, to me, potentially rule out Penn State in the sense of
Zane.
right. Does he want to train with the guy who's number one at this time?
Mm-hmm.
So I would say in that sense, Iowa's more likely than Penn State.
What about
start.
Oklahoma State? Any chance Oklahoma State's in the mix?
That one was the one that was the most fascinating to me. I don't know how he fits in with their coaches there.
He's partied pretty hard in Stillwater after being
Right.
Dean Heil.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if he
Flex.
burned any bridges, but it would definitely be quite an acclamation, quite
Sure.
a return.
Sure.
He's a swashbuckler. After
Yes.
he wins, he lets it known. I think with Oklahoma State, with the RTC component, that's an area where what is their situation going to be like moving forward long term? Obviously, Oklahoma State's always going to be a great place to train in if you have Olympic aspirations. But in terms of the infrastructure, is that what he's looking for necessarily? I don't know.
Now, with the RTC thing, looking forward, if this is potentially nearing the end of James Green and Jordan Burroughs' careers,
Yeah.
could there be more money opening up?
Yep.
Now, obviously, they're not allowed to discuss that with him, but just being able to read the tea leaves is he can go, okay, well, these guys aren't going to be there too terribly much longer. Could there be more money opening up for me? And again, his father wrestled there. So that, and of course, they're a little bit farther than Iowa City, but that's also still relatively close to his home. It was interesting to hear, it's a quick sidebar, it's interesting to hear him say it was very important for him to wrestle in front of his grandfather,
Yeah.
and then when he passed away, things changed. So, and obviously this isn't a spur-of-the-moment decision, as he said, but it sounds like this has kind of been in motion maybe since then, because he announced it. He announced his Olympic redshirt the
Immediately.
day before NCAA's, right?
Yeah.
Were we in?
We
We were like
were in-
driving the.
We were in a vehicle driving in Pittsburgh. Remember when we were all crammed?
Yeah,
And there was
I'm like on top of CP.
we were
like
in
this.
a like a Jeep, and it was 1, 2, there were at least 6 or 7 of us. Either you sat on my lap or I sat. It was
Yeah.
tight quarters.
Wow.
So heart don't forget something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's when he announced it. Yeah. So.
Yeah. And then Ohio State. Now I'm having a hard time picturing him in an Ohio State singlet. I don't know why. But
Think deeply.
The thought of
You need to work on your
him and
imagination.
Sasso
Yeah.
working together makes me
Oh
very
my
excited.
gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't shoot either of you. Just trust me.
They just stand there
Trust
looking at
me.
each other for 6 minutes.
Yeah.
So based on that,
I mean, obviously that family, the Ironman family, has roots now in Columbia. Mike Ironman, right? He's got Ironman Elite. Is he open to relocating and moving? Do you think? Like, is that something where, he thinks about not, obviously that's not part of the, shouldn't be right. Maybe part of the
Right.
official recruiting process, but we've seen Mike Ironman coach at the Olympics. Like he's, had huge influence in a lot of top guys' careers. He helped Askren kind of ascend. He has worked with Jaden Cox for basically Cox's entire life. Is he, does this mean Mike Ironman moves somewhere too, or no way?
Man, I've said it a couple times on the show that I don't know what has prohibited this from happening, but if I was a D1 program, I would want Mike Ironman around that program. I think his track record of development and working with guys, you hear what Jaden Cox has said about him, Ben Askren, et cetera, Willie Miklas. I just think, maybe there's reasons, but I think Mike Ironman is tremendous, and if you get him around your program, he has so much to offer, and I think he's just kind of a change up from conventional thinking, and I think that goes a long way with college wrestling and wrestling coaches. They've done a lot of things a certain way, and it's even though everyone, John Smith and Tom Brands and Cale Sanderson, they're all very different. Like I think he just adds this like change up curveball.
Mm-hmm.
There's a baseball pitching reference here
Yeah.
somewhere. Knuckle curve that Mike Ironman's gonna bring.
Slider, Ephus. I don't know, maybe.
Yeah.
But so with that, I think Ironman is much better suited as an RTC coach. I think he's much better suited on the maybe working with guys individual end as opposed to maybe being an assistant coach at the collegiate level.
Yeah.
And there's two things there. Number one, Jaydin discussed in his interview with Bader that it sounds like, not they're going their separate ways, like they're never going to see each other again, but that this is unrelated to anything that's going to happen with Mike going forward.
Okay.
If he's even going to leave Columbia at all, which he's like a little outside Columbia. But number two, there's new RTC regulations where a prospective student athlete, which Jaydin now is as a transferring athlete, the RTC cannot hire anyone with a direct relationship to that person for 2 years.
Okay.
So
Okay.
it seems as though they're going to be totally unrelated things.
At least for 2 years.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I guess 1 year because he only has 1 year left. But still, it sounds like they're going to be totally unrelated.
Okay.
So this is just going to be a Jaydin decision, a Jaydin freestyle-based decision, RTC-based decision.
So what I'm wondering is a couple things, and where my mind went for next year. Jaydin Ironmen, what weight does he go? And based on what weight does he go, does that determine his choice? Like, if he goes, I think we've speculated he would move up.
I very much think that he should be open to moving up, both in terms of being able to win an NCAA title, 141, 149, whichever is easier.
Yeah.
Not that he's running away from anybody, but just he wants an NCAA title. And then, to fit into a lineup, if he's going to a program with strong RTC, then he's definitely going to a program that has a chance to win, at the very least, a team trophy. So, yeah, I think he should be very open to going up.
Yeah.
And if if there is consideration for 149, like that would be a really great fit at Iowa, right? I mean, they're going to be loaded those first three weights, but Lugo graduating the timing next year, Iowa lineup. I mean, if that's what happens, it'd be outstanding.
That would be perfect, and you don't run into a DeSanto, Teasdale, Murin thing with those guys.
So they'd still have to figure that out, but then he'd just be
49
on that island. Penn State, which again we're saying, and I agree that Iowa's a more logical destination than Penn State, but he'd probably be 49 there.
Yeah.
If it's Ohio State, it would be more likely as a 41. Replacing Pletcher, and Sasso staying up at 49. And then Nebraska.
He could go 49 there.
Yeah.
Because Kevon could redshirt.
Well, it depends on if they roll Kevon out right away.
Oh, I thought that was basically assumed he was going right away.
Yeah, we'll find out tonight, right? Or maybe tonight they have Nebraska duels.
By
so
the end of this year, we will know if Kevon
yeah.
redshirted.
Yeah.
But yeah, Nebraska might not make the most sense lineup wise, with Chad Red having another year, and then figuring out what they need to do with Kevon.
Well,
but it would probably more likely be. Well, I guess it depends.
It makes plenty of sense.
It depends on how big Chad Red gets, I guess.
If Jaydin Ironman is interested in your program,
figure it out.
You're gonna figure it out.
Yeah. Chad can be skinny one more year, or
skinny
which will
Chad.
be his last year. Or Jaydin can go down to 41 and 49. I don't see any issue there for.
I like the idea of those two rolling around every day.
Oh my gosh!
Come on.
Again. But no one's gonna shoot.
Sure.
It's gonna be terrible. But when someone tricks someone into shooting, it will be.
And then with Oklahoma State,
Boo has infinite years.
So Boo's theoretically done this year. But with Cade Brock coming back and Dayton Fix coming
Boo
back.
will get a year back, though, won't he? Isn't he owed another?
I'm not sure. And I'm not sure if he's applied for it.
Okay.
But currently on the roster, he's listed as a senior. So let's operate as though he's a senior.
Yeah.
Then he would probably more likely be a 49. But then they still got to figure out Cade and G-Feller. So maybe Oklahoma State, and then maybe money-wise, right? Depends on how much money they have tied up in those guys. Maybe they don't make a whole lot of sense.
There was one time a 3-time All-American for Missouri that transferred to a school not so long ago, and he went to Iowa State. Young Willie Miklas.
Willie Miklas.
Yep.
What is Jaden's relationship with Willie Miklas?
Former teammate.
Probably fine.
Well, I know. I'm
What
just
do you
saying.
mean?
Well, I'm just saying. Is it just they were teammates and they were close,
Yeah,
or is
are
that they are like
tight?
best
Yeah.
friends?
No, I'm just saying there's it's happened once before. It's definitely different circumstances, but
I mean, yeah, if the proximity to family is really, really important, right? I mean, those Iowa and Iowa State are both like fairly close options, right? I don't know.
So for Iowa State, Jared Dagan's a junior, Parker's junior.
Parker's still just a junior.
Could we see Gomez moving up?
Yeah.
Wow, if Parker was.
Yep, Parker's junior.
And
Gomez is a sophomore.
Is Dagan like eventually going to go up and Carr eventually going to go up? Is that Jared Dagan
that's-
at 49 feels like a crime against humanity, but
He was a 41.
I can't even remember that.
Pretty sure he was 38 at Fargo senior year, 41 as a freshman, now 49.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a possibility. I mean, I guess it would depend on the progression of Chase Straw, but you would have to assume that David Carr would be able to kind of dictate that.
Yes.
And so if you were to go there, he would probably be a 49 and then have Dagan move up to 57 and Carr move up to 65. So he fits in at a lot of these places
Yeah.
lineup-wise, which
Yeah.
now just made it a whole lot harder to predict.
You know what I'm here for? A daggone Jaydin Eierman, Brock Mahler NCAA final. Or something crazy like
man.
that. How about that?
Yeah.
Ironman elites, former teammates on multiple levels, wrestling each other.
Those guys must have had some crazy roles in that
yeah.
Ironman room. Man,
And
that'd be
Jaden's,
amazing.
2 years older?
There's going to be some serious big brother stuff probably going on there.
It's-
You have to figure at least.
Yeah.
But Brock's a beast.
Brock's a true sophomore.
And Jaden's a would-be true senior.
Right, if Jaden was missing.
Jaden
Jaden redshirt?
Did he redshirt?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that would have to make sense.
Okay, so he's 3 years older.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, then the big brother stuff is definitely in potential there. Geographically,
Well,
this
back to the
freaking,
geographics.
this freaking frog in my throat won't go away.
Since yesterday.
Wow.
Geographically and
heck of a frog.
lineup wise and RTC wise, it's looking like Hawkeyes.
What about geologically?
I don't know what the
Great soil up
yeah,
in
the tectonic
Iowa.
plates are like
Yeah.
in Iowa City.
All right, well, maybe that's for next Tuesday's show. So that's Jaydin Ironmen. Don't know the status of when we'll get resolution. Maybe it'll be a quick turnaround. Maybe we'll know today. Who knows?
So he entered the portal yesterday. Now he is allowed to. So now he's allowed, and coaches are allowed to contact him and all that. He is allowed to take visits again as a transferring athlete. So this, and because he's training for Olympic trials, this could be a protracted process. But if he says he knows where he wants to go, and is just
Yeah, what are you waiting for?
both parties can now contact him.
No, what about this? If he decides he wants to go to, say, Iowa, they make that decision now, can he go train at that RTC tomorrow?
That's what I was going to ask.
Yes. He's not. So
Wow.
he would, wherever
Why-
he's
then-
going to go, he's going to be training there for whenever, till after he decides to go there. And then, but he is going to finish out his Olympic year. So he's not going to wrestle second semester
Right.
for
Well,
wherever
yeah,
he goes.
but where's he
yes,
gonna live?
he will
You know,
be.
where's he gonna train? Yeah.
He will be training there.
Man.
And he's not enrolled in classes right now at Missouri as part of the Olympic red shirt.
Yeah.
So that frees him up to an even
Got
greater
it.
degree.
Okay, so that's Jaydin.
Man.
Also,
Massive down.
someone asked, yeah, that could be one that tips the team race like McKenna nearly did for Ohio State back
Yeah.
when he transferred from Stanford to Ohio State. The points he scored almost made it enough for them to take out Penn State in the greatest team race that there has ever been. Also, I thought about this. You know how things occur to you later? Like, George Costanza with the jerk store bit. They just don't come to you right away. I was thinking about the best guys that didn't pan out. Chris Phillips was one that should have been mentioned towards the top of the list. That guy was so dang good.
Yeah.
What he did. Freshman Ironman 171, beat Brian Roddy, smashed Brian Roddy, beat all these good dudes. And then just kind of like throughout his career, just sort of didn't really improve. He lost to Ed Ruth at Ironman. So you thought he was going to be this transcendent thing, and then kind of went, and then you committed to NC State and then didn't last there, and then that was kind of it, right? So that was too bad. And another, who was the Graham kid Felipe Martinez.
Got big.
You want to talk about, he left Grant, he got out of that system. And
Yeah.
That to me just shows the power of coaching and programs and stuff that he could be that, as good as he was. He beat Tony Ramos as like a young guy, and then, he moved, and then he got big and didn't really materialize in college, but the talent that guy had was out of control.
Yeah, Felipe Martinez was the truth in high school. And now you just got me thinking about that Monroeville group in general.
Cam Tassari.
Logan obviously reached his potential. Hunter never got to, not because of anything wrong he did, he's just body fell apart.
Yeah.
And he got 2 All-American finishes?
2, and he was 2 for 2. I mean, he was in the semis as a true freshman. He beat Kellen Russell that year. He beat basically everyone that year.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Pretty sure he beat Montel Marion.
That sounds about right.
And then beat Montel Marion and Kellen Russell as a true freshman. We can look it up.
So you had Logan Stieber, who did everything you could possibly do, 4-time NCAA champ, world champ, multiple-time world team member. And then you had Hunter, who had injuries and was still a 2-time AA. And then you had now Tassari, I believe, still made like an NAIA final. And then I don't know how many college matches Chris Phillips wrestled at all.
Tassari was also an All-American the year he was at Ohio State, right? Yeah.
Oh yeah, he was D1. Yeah.
Yeah.
So just like a interesting progression of those 4.
Yeah, he beat him 4-2. Beat Marion.
Man, what a program that, like, small school program.
Yeah,
Unbelievable.
Monroeville 4.
That's crazy.
4-time state champs, pretty crazy. Okay, so that was a quick little return to a good question. Now, weekend is upon us. What a weekend it's going to be. Starting with what tomorrow, the one they call Nomad. What do we got?
So tomorrow we only have
plan their weekends. This is where you kind of shine.
Yeah,
you tell people when to wake up, when to run an errand, work out.
Yes, tomorrow we have North Carolina at Michigan on Flow, and then there's also Wisconsin at Edinburgh live on Flow. So both of those
are Seth Gross.
Yeah, more Seth Gross. We unfortunately will not get Austin O'Connor, who has a broken arm, which that kind of stinks. But
not many, for as brutal as wrestling is, that's not a very common injury.
A broken arm, yeah.
Has he been rollerblading?
Oh no!
Without telling anyone?
Oh no!
That would never happen to someone in the triangle area.
Yeah, I mean that's a big
number 1 ranked wrestler.
Dude, there's a lot of
at 149. Oh my gosh!
A lot of rollerblading injuries in that state with 149 pounders
who are ranked number 1.
Awful.
Wow. Dang it! They strike again. So yeah, not many broken arms. A lot of shoulder stuff, a lot of knee stuff. I guess it's good. It's better than the alternative. Hopefully he's back soon. I don't know when he broke his arm relative to his return.
Yeah.
I think relatively that is not a thing that holds guys out for. It's not like tearing ACL where you're just out for months.
Yeah.
He's going to have to heal it, but he'll be back in whatever amount of weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So we'll have North Carolina versus Michigan. So we'll get to see more of Mason Paris. We'll get to see, Kennedy Monday. We'll get to see a lot of good lightweights.
Yeah.
Assad still coming down. They have him listed as probable 33. So could he be very light there?
Oh, that'll be fun.
That's
nothing more fun than weighing in super light against
6 pounds under
someone really good.
Yeah.
Jamie Hernandez.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Although Jamie didn't have his Southeast Open wasn't super inspirational, right? He took a loss there that kind of surprised me. I thought he would probably win that.
Yeah. Well, I think that's the thing about the intrigue around this duel is you have a lot of these guys kind of making their way into the starting lineup for the first time that have a lot of potential, a lot of promise. That's the question. It's like, what are these guys going to look like? And so, yeah, to see Hernandez, at the Southeast Open, not maybe.
He lost to Hart from Missouri.
But especially these first-year starters, like from week to week, you can see a lot of ups and downs. And so that's one of the things I'm really excited about with this duel is what are these first-time starters going to look like, especially that opening set of 3 guys for North Carolina, right? So you'll have Melendez, and then Hernandez, who's a sophomore, but it's his first year kind of being the guy at 33, and then Sherman, who's going to be the guy at 41.
I like those guys.
So that's a good starting three. And then when you get O'Connor back in the lineup, hopefully your North Carolina's rolling at those lower weights.
And they have some good depth in terms of guys challenging them and pushing them. So right, they're going to be able to kind of set the tone. Another one for Michigan, Will Lewan, ranked number 8, Lonnie Embry, number 14. He had a very good Michigan State Open making the final. So the kind of as it's getting to the back half, we might see Michigan potentially be able to get some bonus there.
Yeah.
And then obviously it's home for them. But yeah, the two duels on Friday, the only two duels on Friday in Division I are both on Flow. Yeah. So you got to show people. CP, did you know that you can watch two duels at the same time?
Little Apple functionality.
Yeah.
It's
Are you aware of this?
What do you mean? Yeah.
Like this.
Oh yeah.
I was completely because he was watching the Cowboy Open and what else are you watching?
Yeah, we have a new live.
We're watching the Rutgers
situation.
duels and pull up two tabs if you're on a MacBook, right? And then do the split screen and watch both matches. That's how I would handle your Friday night.
I like to go.
They both
Roku.
start at 6 p.m.
I like to go one match on the Roku and one match on the laptop.
That's
or
good.
You could go one match on the Roku, one match on the app.
That's good. That's good. But I think that'll be good. Will Lewan is really interesting to me. He's a guy last year that had real ups and downs. I mean, knocked off his teammate Alec Pantaleo, but that's a good win, whether it's your teammate or not.
Right.
And then had other dropped some matches that you would not expect him to.
Clearing.
Yeah, he got. I think he was a little bit in the shadows of the Michigan State Open just because Kendall Coleman looks so good at that weight.
KC
Stampede. But
every tournament he enters has to be called the KC Stampede.
Wow, trademark.
Legally obligated now.
Yeah. But Will Lewan also had a couple ranked wins at the Michigan State Open, right? He knocked off Justin Thomas and Tela Ramani, and that's what's got him up to number 8. He was 22 or 23 starting the week, and he jumped all those spots. So, even though he didn't win that tournament, still had a really good showing. And so for me, I'm interested, will we see consistency out of Lewan this year? And he's wrestling AC Headley this weekend, which is a weird match.
Crazy that Headley's up at 57.
It's crazy that Headley's up at 57. But Headley, he's a tough out no matter what. So that'll be. I don't know. I'm really circling that match.
Finally, a senior too. Some of these guys seems like their careers have kind of gone by pretty quickly.
Yeah.
So, but that is that's your Friday. Saturday we have Mountaineer Invite on Flow.
And then which Mountaineers are we talking here?
Oh, yes. I'm sorry. That is a good point. That is a good point.
Bracky's going to start getting all excited, and we're going to pick Kyle.
It is App State Mountaineers.
Mm-hmm.
So it looks like we got Air Force, App State, Central Michigan, Duke, Gardner-Webb, Kent State, Oregon State. That's a bit of travel.
Kent State, Oregon State.
For the Beavers.
So you can get a nice direct.
They love Oregon.
And the other Mountaineers, West Virginia.
Okay.
And that'll be live on Flow with that'll be live on Flow with brackets on Arena. And then we got a whole bunch of duels on Saturday.
Yeah, Journeyman.
Campbell. Oh yeah, that's another one. So Campbell Pitt also one I'm interested in. And then Saturday is Journeyman duels.
When's the Virginia Tech Northwestern Battle on the Ball Diamond?
That is
Duel on the
Sunday.
Duel on the Diamond.
That's Sunday. So we'll have German Collegiate Classic on Sunday. We'll have Stanford at Ohio State. We'll have Navy at Penn State. We don't have Northwestern at Virginia Tech, but they're wrestling on the baseball field.
Got it.
The duel on the diamond. I have no idea if that's what it is. It just seems like that's
that
what
seems like what
does.
it should be.
Yeah.
That's ball field battle.
Wow. Baseball Diamond, you could do some really interesting promotions.
So where are we looking this weekend where we can have the biggest shakeups, the toughest matchups? I feel like the Journeyman field is going to be really, really tough. David, you've been working on that a little bit.
Yeah, 141 at the Journeyman could be really interesting. We have Chad Red, who's going to be there. Dom Demas is going to be there. Both
JoJo Aragona.
Yeah, both Rutgers 41-pounders, Lipari and Aragona are both going to be there. And so if those guys hit, that'd be interesting. Obviously, that tournament. If you guys aren't familiar with the Journeyman weekend, it's really in many ways designed for coaches. So as a spectator, you kind of have to know what you're watching to get the most out of it. Mm-hmm. So Saturday, it's duels, right? It's a bunch of duels. We know the lineups, and we know which teams are hitting each other. Those are already on the site. Sunday is the Collegiate Classic, and the way it's run is it's set for pools, and most pools are a group of 6, and there are 2 pools of 3 in that group, and then whoever gets first in that group of 3 wrestles the guy that was first in the other half. So it's kind of good for coaches, set number of matches, but they also kind of try to separate in some ways some guys so that you're not hitting like 3 All-Americans in the same pool.
Sure.
So we don't know at this moment in time what all the matches will be, but we do know
there is a possibility we could have Aragona, Demas, Red all in a similar group.
Yes.
And they'll either hit each other or have comparable results.
Darian Perry in there too.
Darian Perry is in there. So that's an exciting group.
Where do we think JoJo is actually stacking up amongst these guys? I mean,
Jude,
to see him ball out at the Iowa City duels that are in New Jersey,
Iowa City duels Piscataway edition.
Yeah, Piscataway edition. I don't know what exactly that means. Can he go with a Dom Demas, a Chad Red?
I don't know. That's the question for me. But what I think is unquestionable is that guy is extremely confident in himself. Mm-hmm. He wrestles like an alpha. I mean, we joked about the mat return thing, but he's so aware of positions where he can assert his will over other guys. And so, a potential match between Aragona and Demas in particular, I think is really interesting. Demas does unconventional things. He's a thrower and creates a ton of action. Aragona, can he get on top and return Demas a bunch of times and take some life out of him? I don't know, but I gotta see that. Yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
I feel like Chad versus Aragona is interesting because Aragona is gonna attack. He's got a lot of good stuff offensively, but Chad is so good at dive rolling around and scrambling and cradling you up off your own attack. I feel like Aragona's days are coming, but I think the matchups are not so perfect for him, right? I think he's gonna learn some lessons, and I think by the time Big Ten season rolls around, it could be a different thing. But I think him versus Chad, I think that's a tough matchup right now. But one thing with Chad, early season Chad Red, has been different things, right?
It was last year that he took a loss at Journeyman.
I feel like it was more than one, but yeah, he definitely had some issues early on.
I like that you used the word lessons. I was trying to think of a word for myself because that's exactly where I'm at with Aragona. Demas, athletically and stylistically, good test. Red, again, athletically and stylistically, a good test in terms of, Demas going to throw inside trip at you. Red going to counter a lot of stuff. And then Darian Perry coming off a win over Real Woods at Southeast Open. We've seen him be previous All-American. So I think this is a great gauge for Aragona. I don't know that he could very well go, I don't know how many of these guys he's going to hit, but he could very well go 0-3 against these guys. However, I don't think that's going to affect him too much mentally.
No.
And I think those coaches are going to do a good job of going, hey, man, this is, like you're saying, this is the point of getting ready for this Big Ten schedule. So I'm betting if he has to face all those guys, he's going to go 0-3. And so his ranking is still going to be a little ways off.
Or he could win the whole thing and be second.
Yes. That's the crazy thing.
Right? Yeah, he would move up to he'd probably, yeah.
If he beats Red and Demas in the same weekend.
The only thing is, could you move him above Lee? That's the only thing.
Yeah.
I'll do it.
Let's try and stop me.
I know this isn't how we're supposed to think about how successful a guy's going to be, but I picture Aragona and Anthony Ashnault sitting down and having a conversation about how they're going to beat these guys. And I'm just I believe it. I believe the imaginary conversation they're having in my head.
Last year at Journeyman, he lost to Red lost to Crevis and Finley.
He had 4 losses in November. He also lost to.
He started the season
Orts
3 and 4.
Store. Yeah, so he had 4 losses in November, which you wouldn't expect.
Is there also a little bit of I'm not calling JoJo himself dumb, but young dumb freshman, too stupid, I don't know I'm supposed to lose these matches. You know what I mean?
That could
what do you mean? I'm the guy. I'm not.
JoJo is a great candidate for that mentality. Just I'm better than these guys.
What do you mean? Americano. It's number one in high school, might be number one in college.
That's what I mean about, imagine, and he's the guys he's around are not only really good but super confident, right? Like he's got Donnie Pritzloff in his ear. He's got Anthony Ashnall in his ear, and like those guys are not.
I just feel like you go out all excited to wrestle Dom Demas and you're pinned in like 14 seconds.
And you're like, how did he do that? Yeah.
You'd be like, I'll go up top with this guy. The next thing you know. And where did it all go wrong?
Coach, you didn't tell me he could do that.
You didn't know?
Yeah.
Yeah, Dom Demas. How many guys have made upper body throws baseline for their arsenal?
Unbelievable.
It's like, it's so rare. It's one thing. It's like Dayton's got an inside trip, but he's got like 60 other things too.
That set up the inside trip.
And that are not necessarily upper body. Dom is just like, he's got so many.
And Dom does this like fake duck to the inside trip too.
He's got all this crazy headlocks and trips and just regular throws and all this insanity. Like, who makes that?
That's another thing about could say Demas headlock Aragona and it's 6-0 and then the finals 8-6, 7-5.
Maybe, I don't know. I feel like Demas isn't like a fade guy.
I don't think he is either. I'm just trying to think of.
I feel like if Demas is up
Past the
6-0, he'll be able to just
cruising.
hang on and sit back and maybe be more dangerous.
Demas seems like a guy too who's had like a true progression in his career where he's like lost some matches early on, which is what you expect out of a young guy, and then the more he wrestles and improves, the less likely it feels that he's going to drop a close match like that. He had some really good wins like late in the match at the end of the season last year.
Yeah.
So
65's looking good.
Yes.
Isaiah White, Josh Shields, Demetrius Romero.
yeah, that's
all
5, 6,
entered.
and 7 in the country right there.
Dude,
Yeah.
I love Demetrius Romero. I think he is a dog. So tough. He's really good. He's really big for the weight.
He's beaten, I think in the preview I wrote, he's beaten 4 All-Americans in his career.
Yeah.
Massa, JoJo, twice.
Steyert, and one more I can't think of.
Yeah. He that weight
Maybe
class.
Rogers.
Yeah, that weight class in the Big 12, even those affiliate schools for years, has been like no days off, where at some weight classes with the teams that happen to be
Ashworth
in there.
even,
Yeah. But yeah, he's he was always head to head with like guys like Fogarty and Ashworth and I'm trying to think, South Dakota State had a good 65 for a little bit of time too. But yeah, he just was always testing himself against good guys, whether they were on the podium or just off. And he really, I think, has risen through the ranks, and it makes sense for him to be a All-American contender this year, and this will be a great early season test for him.
Heck yeah.
With Nebraska, and obviously they're like heavily favored tonight, but just having to do tonight, Thursday, weigh-in Sunday, traveling across the country, could that affect a red, a white early on in the season? And maybe because Shields to me is like steady Eddie. That guy has, maybe 1 or 2 losses in his career where you're like, why did he lose to that guy?
Yeah.
But otherwise, he beats everyone that he's supposed to beat. And so because of that, I'm kind of leaning Shields right now as the guy that I see coming out of this group.
I could see that. Isaiah White looked so good at the end of the year last year, and if he's where he was at the NCAA tournament, I feel like I favor him.
I do too.
He's just like very solid in every position. Mm-hmm. I mean, Shields is too, though.
When you prognosticate, I feel like it's always you just assume the best version of all of them. I think Isaiah White is the best of that bunch.
Yeah.
But he also, of that bunch, has the most variability in results. Mm-hmm. So with that, it can be very two-edged with Zay so nice.
74, the battle for Lehigh Valley, Cutler versus Labriola.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa.
Cutler currently in the Lehigh Valley, Labriola formerly.
Mm-hmm.
Formerly of. Yeah, I love that match. I think Labriola is going to have a hard time breaking through.
Did we see that one last year?
Cutler is so tough to score on.
Yeah.
I don't think we did.
But, dude, 74 is deeper than that, right? You got Mantanona doing wild, crazy stuff in there.
Oh, my gosh.
Kimball Bastian for Utah Valley is solid. And then what's Anthony Valencia at 174?
I think.
Ooh, that's the monkey wrench.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he hasn't been all the way on for a couple years, but even if Anthony Valencia gets wins over guys like Bastion and Mantanona, you're like, okay, at least that's where he is. But I think the real question for me is Anthony Valencia ready for that Cutler Labriola heat?
Cutler is a tough matchup for Mantanona for Valencia. I think, Valencia's got really powerful offense, but I think Cutler has the baseline to slow him down and frustrate Anthony, and frustrated Anthony will make mistakes, and Cutler will be there to capitalize. I think Labriola, if you're looking for him to climb a rung there, I think that's a guy you could climb a rung against because he's going to mix it up with him, and Valencia can catch guys in exchanges. He's good upper body. He's got great leg attacks. He can cradle off of scrambles well. So that's a guy I think he could, if he hits Labriola, I think that's an opportunity for Valencia.
The thing with Cutler that I really like is that guy knows how to steal periods. He will so frequently, I see it all the time, he'll get a takedown with like 20 seconds left in the period and get a ride out, which is so mentally draining and frustrating, and then it's 2-0 instead of 2-1. With the Valencia and Labriola, these are always the matches that are interesting to me where something happens, right, where kind of just the way Valencia's career goes, and now he's 10 and Labriola's 4, so on paper it would look like an upset, but coming out, Valencia was a bigger recruit than Labriola was at the time that he came out, and Anthony's older, right?
Yeah.
So we shouldn't be terribly surprised if he comes and knocks him off. However, I have no idea where Anthony Valencia is in his training, and so I'm gonna go Labriola here. I think Cutler is a little too savvy for Labriola, but I'm also wondering how many Labriola can shoot a lot, but I don't think Cutler is gonna allow him to kind of dictate the pace there. So I'm going chalk Cutler, Labriola, Valencia if they all hit.
Nice.
Yeah, I like that too.
Other weight classes, keep them coming.
84 has some good stuff happening. Obviously Zahid Valencia is in here, and for me it's Hodge watch, right, for Valencia all year. But this is no walk in the park. He's got Taylor Venz, who, I don't know. I guess I wouldn't be surprised to see Zahid totally put it on Venz, but Venz does some nice stuff, so that could be interesting. And then a couple other guys that are worth noting. Corey Hazel from Lock Haven looked pretty solid at NCAA's. So he's in this field, and those are, I guess, the kind of the big three.
Big ends.
So we'll get Zahid, we'll get all of Arizona State, but just talking about the Hodge watch, we'll get Zahid and Arizona State both for the duels on Saturday and for the classic on Sunday. So as far as Hodge, that's
you don't fly
7
from,
opportunities.
You don't fly from Tempe to Albany and just do the one day.
Yeah,
you're there for the weekend.
Yeah,
you're gonna get your money's worth out of that trip. My question is: Teamer going?
Teamer's he's listed in the field.
Who could he hit at 57? Because he's one of the biggest questions coming into this year.
Teamer. So he
could get guys like Justin Thomas,
Josh Humphreys.
That's a good match for him.
That'd be awesome.
If he can beat a Josh Humphreys, that'll be pretty telling for Jacory.
And it's hard because I was talking to Spey about his ranking. So he's number 11, which is pretty high coming in. He did have some good wins last year at Midlands especially, but they were all at 149. Now, as you know, as you've made fun of me for many times, I've always thought Jacory was going to be big. So I think Jacory is maybe going to be a little better off at 57, but can he justify that number 11 ranking in week 2?
I think he will. I see that. I think he's going to do really well.
What if he just totally 180 on his style and comes out shooting?
He's got good leg attacks. I mean, he took Sammy Sasso down multiple times for their cadet world team spot.
Beating Braden Lee multiple times.
Great double leg. He's got a lot of stuff. He's not just a spladler.
On Saturday at the duels, we could see KC Stampede, Jacory Teamer.
Oh my!
Oh, that we like.
So we could see that.
That we like.
We could see that.
Well, so if he beats KC Stampede, then he would be like he'd be like 6, right?
So, yeah, KC Stampede and Humphreys, that's a good weekend.
Yeah.
Or a bad weekend.
Well, yeah, I'm saying if he wins.
I know.
But, yes, that could be a terrible weekend.
Dude, that Kendall Coleman match with Jacory Teamer is all of a sudden like
That's must watch.
must watch.
It'll be a good stylistic matchup too.
Yeah.
Because I think Coleman's going to try to push the pace on him.
And I mean that duel is. I mean, Anthony Valencia will have Dylan Lighty, right? That duel overall is one to circle.
That's a tough match for Anthony Valencia.
That's a tough match.
Dylan
right?
Lighty is a dog. That
Yeah.
guy is like, he wrestles super hard. I think everyone kind of likes Dylan Lighty. He's kind of like Skatska. Like
Yeah.
everyone just likes him.
Yeah.
I don't know. You just like watching him wrestle.
285 on the classic, Jordan Wood versus Tanner Hall. So
It will be a classic.
Top five
We'll all be
heavyweight
classics
match.
after that one.
Yeah, that's a classic.
That's when
one-
you grab a Coca-Cola classic.
That's when we've been. Yeah, that's when we've been watching since.
I think they're actually still wrestling from NCAAs maybe back in 2018. They're just
Yeah.
actually,
Yeah.
they're just moving their bodies
Just
to
rolling
Albany
through.
just to keep it going.
Yeah. Yeah, I think those are probably the biggest highlights. But they're going to be good matches all day on Sunday at that tournament.
Yes, indeed. So, the heat for this weekend.
Let's get to it.
Dude,
What? Ohio State?
we still got 5 or 6 number ones left after that to wrestle. 5 number ones to wrestle after all that action.
It's all happening.
Let's get into them.
Are we going to have new number ones in any weight classes this
Oh, boy.
after this weekend?
It's
Seth
possible. It is
Seth Gross upset watch. All right, we'll rule that one out. 125, Spencer's not wrestling. He's cool. 141.
That could be interesting.
Fletcher, Real Woods. Now,
he
Real
has
Woods,
the toughest match.
Real Woods. I feel like we often put Pletcher on upset watch because he wrestles close matches, but he's so good at winning close matches, and he also low-key kind of scores more points than I think people realize sometimes. So I think him versus now he did not have a career pin until like last year, I believe.
He went over a full season without a pin, and then he has pinning guys in Division I's hard, but he has only has like 6 career pins.
Yeah.
But he got 2 last weekend.
Yeah.
Wow.
I said it on the show the other day. I just think him with that extra 8 pounds is going to be problems, and
He can finally get some strength in his legs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Real coming off a loss to Sedarian Perry. He has the toughest match, him or if Zahid wrestles Venz, but
When I think Real Woods, I think about his final with Nick Lee at the Southern Scuffle, where Nick Lee's in on the single, Real Woods like fights it off, kind of like arm drags himself like into this arm drags, gets behind the arms, takes him down. You know, he's up 2-0 on Nick Lee. You feel like, dude, this guy could be the next thing. Couldn't hold on in that match, but like he has the ability to score. I don't know that he's ready for a guy as consistent as Pletcher this weekend.
I see Pletcher coming out, getting an early takedown and a ride. Mm-hmm. Pletcher's really good on top in terms of just holding individuals down, and I think kind of takes the life out of him after the first period, and then he's just in cruise control from that point. That's my anticipation. Real, obviously, is good. Everyone's been high on him ever since.
Yeah, and it's still so early in the season, and with like we're not going to necessarily see a whole lot of ranked matchups, so it's very difficult to predict anything but chalk right now.
Yeah.
Other than as CP said, kind of maybe identifying guys who in the past in their career have started slowly. Right, we identified that with Montori when he lost to Therius, that this guy has taken early season losses, and
I feel like
still
this
been an
is the
All-American.
best time to not be chalk because I feel like just crazier stuff happens in
It
November.
is, but it is the hardest to
anticipate.
Yeah.
You just have to visualize it. Think deeply.
We'll do some visualization exercises later today.
That'd be. Oh, I can't wait.
What if you visualize live on air?
I'm really excited to see Sasso against Vandermeer.
Yeah.
Like Sasso kind of just ran roughshod all weekend, and including Tekken Kane and Store. Vandermeer is another guy who had a nice scuffle with ranked guy. That if Sasso can keep putting up bonus points on guys like that, that's going to be really telling for me.
Our way in, I'm interested.
Yeah, that's
I'm
great.
interested
Yeah,
how he
that's a
looks
great
our
point.
way in.
That's a great point.
Because he's big.
Vandermeer had a good one with Micah Jordan last year at CKLV for about 6, minutes and change.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of going to, to your point, that's kind of going to need to be where Sasso makes his money, is continuing to shoot and extend the lead in the third period. So, but they're probably going to start at 25. So he probably won't be.
Hey, did Cedarian Perry lose to Real Woods? It says he did in WrestleStat.
According to Flo Arena, he beat him.
Okay. Well, let's double, triple check on that one because it may be conflicting here. Let's get some resolution. Who won?
We have a classic. This was the other way on Sunday.
Really?
Yeah.
So Real beat Cedarian Perry.
That changes everything.
Somebody get Nate Engel on the line.
Nate Engel, line one.
Coach Borelli, Coach Blake.
Is he an on the horn guy or
No.
He's an on the line guy.
on the line?
On the line.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so that's no.
That went the other way on Sunday.
Well, they just switched the
Table worker hit the wrong
Yep.
result. Yeah.
Yep.
It happens to the best of us. Okay, so hey, glad to clarify that.
Okay.
That's why I peeped over to the.
Nope. That's on me.
That's on Nomad.
That's on me.
Wow.
Per space rankings, freshman Real Woods began assault in the upper echelon with the victory over All-American Cedarian Perry.
So even he knew. Okay, moving on.
Late onset dyslexia, maybe. No man.
It happens.
Idiot.
Yeah.
Where were you guys at?
The Ohio State duel.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So that 49 match, interesting. What other good ones we got?
Well,
in that duel?
65. Ethan Smith versus Shane Griffith.
Mm-hmm.
Griffith, the favorite there.
Maybe one of the. I mean, it's gonna be tough for Stanford. I would say that and 25 represent their main opportunities to get matches here.
Yeah. This is why you need that red shirt rule where you can just use guys because they could just wrestle Karchla without penalty.
Yeah.
And we get.
I would really love to see that.
I really like to see that match.
I think too. The 125 match with Heinzelman and Townsville is interesting just for what it suggests about Ohio State's lineup this year, but also we said this like when we were talking last weekend. Saw Heinzelman in the bracket with guys that are similar place in the rankings to Townsville. Like they expect him to get better. They expect him to score them points at NCAAs, and at some point he's got to get a win over a guy like Gabe Townsville. So
does the lack of Jordan Decatur this week indicate whether they can get him down 25 or not? He's redshirting.
I think so, since Heinzelman was a true freshman last year, and now you've effectively burned his red shirt by putting him in this duel.
Because they have Hunter Lucas.
Okay.
And while that would kind of change the dynamics of that individual match from maybe a toss-up to Townsville definitely being favored, it still shouldn't affect the overall duel. So if we see Heinzelman go out at 6 p.m. on Sunday, does that mean the Decatur Wrestling as a true freshman ship has sailed? Because I think it does.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know why you would construct that any other way when you have a guy who doesn't have a red shirt to burn, Hunter Lucas.
It feels like, there has to be a way to, potentially keep both guys in red shirt just to be safe. But if you know now that Decatur's not going to get down, and you still hold Heinzelman out, like what is that? What's the messaging there to Heinzelman, right? Like a guy that you're trying to put confidence in, you hold him out against a guy who's kind of rounded 12-ish guy. Does that suggest lack of confidence to him? And what is that? What kind of messaging does that do? I don't know. So I'll be interested to see who goes 25 for the Buckeyes on Sunday.
Traxler, Colin Moore. A good match as well. Traxler been a tough guy, and with Colin, he wins the lion's share of his matches. But Traxler's a really good guy out of Illinois that I could see giving him maybe some difficulty. But as we've seen with Colin, he could just dump him right on his back and end it quickly.
Yep, they've never wrestled before, so first time seeing that one. At 84, do you try to give Gavin Hoffman another opportunity to get a win, or you just go, hey, couldn't get it done at Michigan State Open. He lost to Steiner. Steiner gets the nod.
I think if you're putting your best team out there, it's Steiner right now, isn't it?
I think so. Yeah. I think right now.
And then getting back to 65 for a second, Ethan Smith, tough one that first round, but then wrestles back to get third. But now you got Shane Griffith right away. So I still don't think they're going to wrestle Karchla, but does this give any indication? Just because I think Shane Griffith, I picked him to All-American. I think Shane Griffith's going to be good on that podium. So if you're Ohio State, you go, we want to get a guy on the podium. Smith's losing to a guy that's maybe on that level. Does that open up an opportunity for Karchla?
Yeah.
So I will be there. I'm leaving Saturday. I'm pretty pumped. I'm excited. Myself and Chris Walker. You don't know him, but he's awesome.
What's the ticket sales situation at
I don't know. He's
Center?
He's our tickets guy. I'm assuming it will be a capacity crowd.
Yeah. They told me before the schedule was announced, their allotment of season tickets was at like 75% sold.
Wow.
Okay.
Without knowing
who they were wrestling.
Who they were wrestling.
Wow.
So I imagine it's going to be what's capacity, like 4 or 5? I bet it's going to be over 4.
It'll be
in a tight environment.
That's awesome. That makes it like such a great viewing experience at home too. When that place is rocking, like that's gonna be a fun duel. Like even if you didn't know a name of a single guy in the lineup, like I think it would be fun just because, man, there's gonna be good energy there. It's gonna be awesome. I can't wait for that one.
Stanford doesn't have any Ohio boys. I'm just trying to think of guys who would, like Romero and Moore would probably be the main
local flavor.
Yeah.
Also, it's the Buckeyes, baby.
Yeah,
Buckeyes. That's the local flavor.
They love the Buckeyes.
Yeah,
it's Ohio State. Now,
they have their their media day today, so maybe we'll find out a little more about.
Can you go?
Yeah, I'm leaving as soon as this show ends.
Thank goodness. Okay, Penn State kicks off their season Sunday afternoon, 1 p.m. I do believe. That could be Eastern. That could be Central. You should just get on at Eastern and just hang out until it happens. Mm-hmm. So I don't know what the big discussion points for that duel are. I don't think it's not going to be my upset special of the weekend.
No, you don't think so?
No,
man,
you can't rule anything out. But I'm feeling pretty good about Penn State in this one. I'm most excited to watch Teskey. I think for me, he could be because what have we been saying about 125 this year? It's like there's a couple spots open. There's like 6 guys were like, those dudes are the best guys at the weight. And if they can get real utility out of Teskey this year, that would be really telling. Now, I don't know if he's even going to get the nod because Coach Sanderson was a little bit like, there's Schnupp, there's Teskey, there's Meredith.
Yeah.
So there's considerations there, but he's the guy I want to watch.
As far as their match notes, their projected lineup, it was Teskey or Schnupp were the 2 options.
Okay.
So I think it could be Schnupp.
That's what Schnupp.
There's no red shirt to burn for Teskey, right? He used it last year, so I don't know. I think you throw him out because Treaster's a good one to start him off with because it's a guy who maybe wouldn't right now be projected as an NCAA qualifier. So right away you kind of get, okay, is he above that level, right? And then if it gets him a win, then it maybe gets him a little confidence. So I would go with Teskey, but if they're not happy with him, they go Schnupp.
Well, I don't think we have any indication they're not happy with him.
Well, we assumed all summer it was going to be Teskey, and then they come out and say, 25's open.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just think that's more, respect to Schnupp, respect to
being a guy in the program for a couple years, being their starter for a couple years.
And it's a little like Brody, prove it, take the spot kind of thing. But I think they all probably
go and get it.
I'm just guessing, but I don't look at it as really. I'd be really surprised.
That's a good point. I think when we project lineups, when we think about all that stuff, like it's easy to assume Teskey is going to be as good as everyone thinks he can be, but he hasn't done anything yet, right? Like he hasn't done that yet. So
like Nolf coming into his freshman year had to win over Brian Robuto and made the Scuffle finals and many other things. So, okay, so that's Penn State's opener. Don't know if we'll see Rashid or not.
Yeah, that was another one.
We might not.
That was another one they had.
ACL, I don't know.
Creighton Edsel listed as a or there. They had. I imagine we're going to see Bo Pfeiffer at 57. Based
I
on
really want to see Kyle Cannell too.
Yeah.
Yep.
Jeez.
And then Luke Gardner, I think, is going to go over Jared McLaren.
You do?
Yeah.
Did he win the wrestle-off? The not wrestle-off-offs?
That is message board chatter, but then also just, again, with Kale saying 49's open,
Yeah.
I think it's going to be Gardner.
Man, Penn State duels like this. So there's like two kinds of Penn State duels, right? There are the rare duels that happen every year where the actual team score is in the balance, like
Ohio State, Iowa, sure, yeah.
And then there are these where like these Penn State wrestlers they're like performing artists or something. They're like musicians or something, like coming out to like rock out in front of their fans. Like it's like that's the kind of show that these guys put on almost every week. They're literally competing with each other for the fastest fall, and it just like it's so wild to watch. Like it really is like a circus or something. Like this is insanity all the time. So I just love it, man. I just can't wait to get these guys up and rolling, and it'll be fun.
I don't want to predict who's going to get the fastest fall, but
Yeah, you should.
I'm going to say Kassar, because he's wrestling a true freshman, even though I really like John Birchmeier. But then Hall and Chenzo have ranked guys, so I'm going to say Kassar.
What about Kyle Cannell?
What if Cannell comes out and does some crazy
I haven't
throw?
seen Kyle Cannell in a year and a half.
Well,
no, he
hold
did
on.
wrestle 2 matches
Hold
last year.
on. You saw him a media day. You saw his
The
you
stash
saw his
was
Fu
strong.
Manchu,
Yeah.
and you saw his hair. He's ready.
He's ready. Body lock straight to the back. Okay, so excited for that. Northwestern at Virginia Tech in beautiful Blacksburg, Virginia. Can't beat that. Trying to think of the big matchups there. 57 LaPrade Deacon, 25 Prada Seabass, Yaya versus Moore.
Mm-hmm.
Yaya up at 49. Very that one I've got circled just because with the weight issues he had last year.
Why did they not? Can we get clarity? Why didn't they just bump him up last year?
I don't know.
That doesn't make sense to me.
I don't know.
It's like you've got a guy. I get it. Like if you're on, Penn State, it's like, yeah, we can't bump you to 49 because Zane's there or
Right.
whatever. But it's like, okay, go. So I feel like something else. Yeah, but definitely the weight was a factor there. Yaya adds. I mean, if he's a real contender, the guy's, what he did, Junior Worlds, making the team, etc. You can't be anything but excited about him.
Lucas Davison's varsity debut. And
very much want to see that.
he should be pretty heavily favored over the one with Smeltzer last week. So
Yeah, we'll see. Obviously, we think Cody Howard will have his say at 197 for Virginia Tech, but right now it's Smeltzer.
Yeah.
Other questions. Do we see Ridge Lovett and Kevon Davenport? It's always a question with these early true freshmen. Do you just use them right away? If they're going, they're going. I hope so. I feel like if they're the guys, just get them out there and get them scrapping, although I understand the idea behind getting it's maybe an unnecessary risk. But Cyclone Open, don't know what'll be going on there, but if we get some car stuff, that would be super fun.
to get a look at I feel like we have had so much Cyclone talk on this show to finally get a look at them.
Mm-hmm.
Cyclone Versations, we could call
Cyclone Versations?
Yeah,
Wow.
when we
Okay.
talk
Yes.
about Iowa State.
Yes.
Coin that one. Okay. Let's it's 9:03, deep in the heart of Texas. And why don't we take some questions from friends?
Yeah.
Does that sound good?
I like it.
Okay. One, this is a callback from the previous question of the next program to get their first individual NCAA champ. And I said, great question. We don't know all the programs that don't have them, but now we do. Or at least this could be a setup where someone lied. Can't rule that out ever. But we're going with it, and it sounds right. App State, Brown, Bucknell, Cal Baptist, Campbell, Citadel, Cleveland State, Columbia, Davidson, Drexel, Duke, Gardner-Webb, George Mason, Long Island, ODU, Presbyterian, Rider, Sacred Heart, SIU, Buffalo, Little Rock, Chattanooga, Virginia, Utah Valley, VMI. So who's the most likely of that group to get there first? I think you have to say it's UVA.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah. They have a number 2 ranked guy
if
right
the question
now.
is most likely to get it this year, then it's probably UVA.
Yeah.
Even still, I just feel like the way the talent they typically land relative to that of the other programs, it should be there. There's a lot of most teams have national champions, is what I learned.
Yeah.
At some point.
Well, yeah. Northern Colorado was the one we named last time, and they're not on this list, but I think they should be on this list.
We'll add Northern Colorado. And this could be a fake news list.
And if Virginia doesn't get a champ this year, like, do they have a candidate in the next handful of years?
No, but who? But you just have to assume they probably will get someone.
Right.
I don't know. I just think probability-wise, it would be them.
Yeah, probability-wise, I think that they make a lot of sense.
Penn
makes a lot of sense.
They're recruiting very well.
Wait,
They're not on here, though.
Penn
is on the one that I have.
Matt
Matt Valenti won twice.
Freaking
Yeah, see, don't trust that guy.
Mitchell.
Did you get Mitchell?
Literally, Matt Valenti exists.
Yeah, he won.
And he's an AD there, and I interviewed him last year. My apologies to Matt
interviewed
Valenti
him.
Yeah.
Wow.
and the Quakers.
Wow.
That was a Matt return guy right there.
Matt Valenti was a freaking
He
beast.
was good. Now, so I'll say UVA, ODU. Definitely a school in Virginia, VMI. One of those 3 schools are the most likely.
Okay.
Who was Northern Colorado's champ? Now I gotta look this up.
All right, let's move on.
2. One of whose name is Jack Flash.
But are those Division I champs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait,
Yeah.
When?
they were D1 in the 60s?
Okay.
Apparently.
Okay.
Quote Carter Bray.
1962.
All right. Well, there you go.
Jack Flash?
Jumping Jack Flash. Okay. Which inspired my next question.
157.
What year was that?
1962. He was a 157-pound champ.
I remember.
Jumping
That's
Jack
right
Flash.
around the same time Dick Bollinger was
Inspiring.
winning titles in Wyoming.
A song about him.
Yeah, amazing.
So, I think a more interesting question than that one, because it's like a lot of these are kind of a long way off, right? What's the next team to win an NCAA title that has not yet done so? Now, here's who has won. Oklahoma State, Penn State, Iowa State, Ohio State, Arizona State, Oklahoma, Minnesota. Then we get to this sort of era where, okay, we'll say it, but okay, it was, this was before World War II. So Indiana in 1932, Cornell College in 47, Michigan State in 67, and UNI at some point in
1950.
In 1950. So those are the teams that have won NCAA titles. Now, who is going to be the next one on the list? Obviously, the best teams not on there, I would say, or best programs, maybe we could call it Missouri, NC State, have both had teams in the mix. Cornell University, I think next year, the way they could be shaping up, and if Penn State ever decides to not have like 3 to 4 national champs on their team, could be a little more vulnerable, although Iowa looks so good next year.
Wisconsin's building in that direction. I don't know if they're quite.
They're a little further
there,
off,
but interesting.
Did we say Tech?
Yeah, Hokies, baby.
Dude, what if Tech wins one in the Tech or NC State wins one in the next decade? Like, from especially Virginia Tech, a chopping block program, not that long ago, for them to win a title like in the relatively near future would just be insane growth.
I'm saying Cornell, just based on what they've got right now currently in the holster, and then, I mean, if Yanni ends up being a 4-time champ, then you have 2 4-time champs, and at that point it's kind of like, not that Rob Cole hasn't proved himself, but it's like, I've had 2 4-time champs. What more do you need?
Yeah.
I need to read a tweet right now that has nothing to do with anything we're talking about.
Love it.
Okay.
From Coach Neil Eiersman of Arkansas Little Rock.
Okay.
All right, I'll say it. U23s must have been heck of a recruiting visit.
Wow.
The situation being, Ironman was on U23s, says I'm out. Kirk Fleet, U23s in the portal.
Yeah.
Pretty interesting from, a head coach to say that. And the implication there, hey, they're there with all these other coaches.
Are they going to Little Rock? Is that what he's saying?
Are they coming, Coach?
Coach.
No, he wasn't. Because Coach Eiersman wasn't on that trip. Had he been, perhaps Little Rock would have been in the mix there.
Rocked up.
What if? Yeah, never mind.
So, I just wanted to read that, and D1 coaches kind of woke on the.
All right, so who is Townsville's 57, Tucker's 61, Ironman 65,
Berge was 74. 70 was
Pantaleo,
Pantaleo,
who has no more eligibility left. Berge 74, McBride 79. Why am I blanking on 86?
I don't know.
86.
We don't need to
But
go
yeah,
through the whole
he's-
thing.
yeah.
There's two guys in the portal.
Yes.
That's the point.
Yeah.
It's not who
Yeah.
else is going to be in the portal.
Well, I was more so talking about who was there.
Oh, who was infiltrating?
Yes.
Who was putting birds in ears?
That's where I was going with that.
Oh, now I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
Bo Nickel was on that team, which, he and Berge live in the same neighborhood.
yeah. Okay.
Maybe.
Now, so we talked about who's next. I'll say it's Cornell.
Yeah.
They've been the closest
They finished second before.
twice, I want to say. So with that in mind, I will say Cornell, especially given how soon they're going to have a really good team next year. They're kind of moving all their things in order. Also hearing a lot of Yapujian talk at 157 for Cornell.
Same.
Keep an eye out for that guy to have a nice season. Just putting that out there. You heard it here first and foremost. Except the people I heard it from.
You
Technically.
may have heard it from them first.
Yes. But you didn't talk to them maybe, so
Yeah.
it's me. Okay. Now we'll finally get to some questions. This is a great one. Tyler Guth or Guth. Guth. Can you guys pull some strings to get a weekday Maction type wrestling matches? Sorry, I got Maction on the brain. Put a lot of eyes on those teams that are not competing against. So Coach Bono started his season on Thursday against Buffalo last year, and I think he agrees. I think in general, it makes so much sense from a viewership standpoint to do it. I think it would be great. I think if I was a program that was kind of on the come up and wanted eyes on a program, I know for us from a media perspective, it's a lot easier to blow up one duel that is isolated away from other things. But think about this weekend, what Sunday's like for us. We have to focus on certain ones, and you can only focus so hard on. So if there was a Wednesday or a Tuesday duel, the amount of attention that would get would be amazing. But I think that the issue is.
Issues are obvious.
The academics, right?
Yeah.
It's man, you have to leave on a Monday, you wrestle on a Tuesday, and you come back on a Wednesday. It's the week's gone.
One thing that's interesting to me is we've seen over the years times where, once in a season, a coach of a program will take the team on a 10-day trip, and that's where I think the potential is there. We've seen Arizona State a couple years ago spend a week and a half in Michigan, where I think they dueled Michigan and Michigan State, and they're at the MSU Open or something, all in the same week. Oklahoma State will do that sometimes, around finals week, and they'll go to Reno and then maybe come out, they'll take a bus, and then on their way back they'll kind of wind through some of those Western programs and hit a couple of duels. So if more teams would think about that, where you're kind of concentrating some of those missed classes in just a 1 week period or something, I wonder if that's more of an option.
And they do need to be, because the two that come to my mind right away in terms of duels that were blown up, both because they had interesting storylines going in, interesting things happened there, but also because they were on an island, and they both involved Wyoming. Seth Gross, Bryce Meredith.
Yep.
That was the only thing
going on. It was
on.
a Thursday night, right?
It was the only thing going on. I remember we were at Tulsa, and we had the board up, and there was, 50 little kids watching Seth Gross wrestle Bryce Meredith. It was awesome.
Yeah.
And then Oklahoma State, Wyoming.
That was on.
Because that was on
Elevation.
the Tuesday before Thanksgiving, right?
Yeah, that was.
Or Monday before Thanksgiving, and it was amazing.
Was it Thanksgiving or was it something Christmas?
It was finals
Might be
week.
Christmas.
It was December.
Christmas.
It was second week.
I
third
was
week
in
December.
I was in the Austin airport, delayed, but it enabled me to watch just watching it, just hanging out. Caleb Blakeman produced it.
Blakeman produced it on site. Yeah, we were there. That duel was so much fun. Like,
Awesome.
It was, man, it's this old high school gym where like they used to, I don't know, not have like building codes or something in Wyoming, but the bleachers went like all the way up so that if you were in the top row and reached your hand up, you're like touching the ceiling. Like it was literally to the rafters, and there was not an empty seat in the house. Bryce Meredith's hometown, and like the funny thing is, I think Archie Colgan was favored to win at 57, and that was it. Like Oklahoma State
5-5 duel, right?
Yeah, it was a 5-5 duel. Team score, wasn't really a thing because Oklahoma State won a lot of their matches early and with bonus.
Montori won.
But dude, yeah, Montori knocked off Cade Brock. Sam Turner knocked off Gio Martinez, who was an All-American at the time, and Ashworth knocked off Chandler Rogers. So in addition to like the finale, which was Bryce Meredith and Dean Heil, and dude, that was so much fun, and the whole like all of Twitter was focused on that one match, right? That was super fun.
So maybe just Coach Branch. All these good matches have involved Wyoming.
Yeah,
so
he's the key.
Coach Branch, looking at you to lead the charge here.
Cool. All right. So that was a good question. Would love to see that. I think there's a way you could do it. Like, if one conference got in on it, or I don't know, it doesn't even have to be a conference. Just like D1 coaches, just have like a Tuesday rotation. It's like, all right, this is the week that we do it, and you do it. It's like the London game for the NFL. It's like, yeah, no one wants to go to London to play a football game, but once per season you do a Tuesday or a Wednesday duel.
And I mean, if coaches like found the program that's a couple hour drive away or something, instead of like I'm gonna fly across the country for this one, and do it that way, maybe. I don't know.
Somewhat unrelated, but I also like the thought of something along the lines of like college basketball does the ACC Big Ten Challenge, and kind of having two conferences. They wrestle their 4 or 5 best teams against each other.
Yeah.
That seems completely impossible to get everybody on board for, but it would be amazing.
Who's the best 197-pounder for Penn State today? End of year. 2 separate questions. So the question is, will Beard be better than Kyle Cannell by the end of the year?
I don't see it.
I don't either.
I don't see it, and I don't think it matters. Because I think Kyle Cannell is going to be healthy, and Michael Beard's going to redshirt. And that's going to be it.
Yeah.
That's why I hope for health. That would be great. If you knew the next FRL episode was the last FRL episode, what would be your go-to wrestling shirt for the show? I would wear I think I would wear my Ben Askren Chin in China shirt.
Holy crap.
Wow. That's a classic shirt.
2008.
Yeah. Tough. That's tough. So I think I'd pull. I have like a handful of wrestling shirts from wrestling in Central America on athletes and action trips, training guys from other countries. So I'd maybe pull out one of those. I think I'd pull out something, maybe Peru, maybe, or Argentina. I don't know, something like that.
Got it.
Nomad.
Probably he's gonna.
He's
having a nervous breakdown.
I have an entire dresser full of shirts. Well, I cannot think.
That's called. Most people have dressers full of shirts.
I'm saying I have like 300 shirts.
Wow.
You should.
I don't get rid of shirts that people give me.
I think you have the most wrestling T-shirts in the world.
No.
You might have.
No, I'm saying it. You
might have.
Nomad, you have the most wrestling shirts in the world. I think you could wear one every day. I think it could be a viral Twitter sensation.
I'm gonna wear all of them.
You have the most. I'm declaring it, dude.
No, but on my
you can't undeclare it.
On that day, I'm wearing every shirt.
You're gonna wear them all at the same time?
Yes.
Wow. Wow.
Just walk in like this.
That would be so funny.
Oh man.
All right. So congrats to Dan on having the most wrestling shirts in the world. Next question. This was from a few shows ago from Matt Kaminer. Over under 1.5 combined losses between Kassar, Chenzo, and Mark Hall going into Big Tens. Going into NCAA.
So
this is total losses, not just conference losses.
I'm going person by. So they duel. So for Kassar, they duel Minnesota, I do believe. But Gable, and he's never lost to Gable. Mark Hall, I think, will have 0 losses.
Yeah.
At any point this year. Vincenzo Joseph
He'll have Marinelli in a duel.
Vincenzo has, in his career, 4 losses, 2 losses, 2 losses.
And those losses have been at the 2 losses have been at it was Big Ten's NCAAs last year.
Yeah, so he had none going in.
None going in. One of his losses his sophomore year was at Big Ten's.
Mm-hmm.
So that's 1 loss. And then one of his losses freshman year was at Big Ten.
I'm
So
going to
that's 3
say
losses.
under.
Yeah.
It's just tough for me to see.
Yeah, under.
It's under because I mean even with Chinzo, it's like he has not beaten Alex Marinelli, and Marinelli is the favorite. But if he avenges that at some point, including now Carver is a different.
Yeah.
Jeez, I mean that's the thing. Penn State's going to Carver. Like crazy stuff happens there.
Yeah.
Do you remember when the Carver gods decided? They decided Zane Rutherford was going to lose.
Zane,
It was your time, Zane.
he was chosen.
And
He
didn't
denied
happen.
the Carver gods. He was Carvered in every way, and he would not lose to
Yeah.
Brandon Sorensen.
Yeah, that was wild.
Was that disrespectful of Zane Rutherford?
Yeah.
Because you have to. And then Carver was immediately like, fine, okay, Mark Hall then.
That-
It had to
Yeah,
be
and look, someone has to go
someone-
today.
It's the sacrifice
We-
the island demanded.
We need a body today. We chose Zane.
They chose Zane. If anyone should be, Mark Hall should be upset with Zane
Yeah,
for
dude.
getting him Carvered.
That might actually,
My debut is going to be awesome.
Yeah.
Could have beat Meyer.
That might actually be the closest thing to disrespectful that Zane Rutherford's ever done in his life.
That is the closest.
The nicest.
Very respectful person.
Yeah.
But denying Carver was messed up,
That was
especially for
disrespectful.
true freshman debut for young Mark.
So, if Chenzo
Now you got
does
me
lose to
thinking about people
Marinelli,
getting Carvered.
if
Now you
Chenzo does lose to Marinelli, he will also wrestle Wick. I think I like Chenzo in that matchup, but
Yeah.
it's on the dual meet schedule, and that match doesn't ever happen. But
That match's not allowed to happen.
but I don't know.
Been on the
It could-
schedule every year. It just doesn't happen.
It's that over under 1.5 is really it's a really
That's the number.
That's the number. It's a hard one. I'll take. You know what? I'm gonna take the over just because
Ooh.
I could see it. I could see Gable and Marinelli or Wick. Two of those 3 matches happening. I could see 2 of those 3.
And Michael Kimmer. I mean,
Yeah, and yeah.
I don't
yeah.
really like the matchup for Kimmer, but he's really good. So
There are enough landmines that 1.5 is the good job, Cameron, on the Vegas stuff.
yes.
I'm going under.
I'm taking the over.
Bray's going to catch the ire of the Penn State fans.
Wow.
Here in a
I'll be
second.
and I'll probably be wrong, but I'm gonna take the over.
Who's the FRLer most likely to join Kyle Brackey on the baby train?
Wow.
Baby train.
Yeah, having
I know. I get it. It's just
Okay.
a funny way of saying it.
Instead of the gravy train, the baby train.
Baby train.
Or the Braby train.
I've been on the Braby train for a few years already.
Yeah,
so-
you've got 3,
Yep.
2,
I'm
0.
gonna go Spay.
Wow.
I think Spay's gonna find himself a little Philly, and they're gonna settle down, and there's gonna be a little
Little Spaby.
Little Spay.
little Spaby.
Little Spaby coming.
Spaby.
Well,
Wow.
of the table here, where would you place your money?
Well, I would place my money on me because I don't think either of you guys are having any more kids. Are you announcing something right now?
No announcements. It cannot be scientifically ruled out.
Yes, scientifically it cannot be ruled out.
Yeah, for me it can.
It can be.
All right,
So I'm-
Spray is making an announcement.
Yeah, just share a little medical
Although-
information here.
You just violated HIPAA on yourself.
Yeah, you can HIPAA yourself.
Oh man. Well, all right.
So it would be a miracle on 34th Street if
That's right.
if there was another Braby.
That's correct.
I don't know. Antonio Cromartie, he got that done like twice.
I don't think he did. I don't believe it.
Yeah.
That's-
You might have to-
He just told his wife like,
Right.
"Well, I had it done. I don't know."
Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't do it. Come on, that guy. He didn't even know all his kids' names. You're gonna take his word that he got 2 vasectomies and still whatever.
It's
Snip,
so
snap,
bad when
snip,
you have
snap.
so many kids. You're like, 10, 11, 12, get over here.
To be fair, the most famous dad move that there is like calling your kids the wrong name.
Yeah.
My dad, Christian Wessel Ryan. He would do that. So who are we?
Yeah,
to
especially
say?
once you get over like 5 kids and you just there's just chaos going on and dad just explodes.
Yeah.
It's like Billy, Tommy, whichever one you are, get over here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Nomad was in some intense situations. Okay.
I was basically by myself my whole childhood.
Oh man, you knew you were in trouble when your parents called you Nomad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they go to the full
They disowned me.
Wrestling Nomad. Get over here. All right. Any more questions here? We talked family stuff. I think we could call it at 9:24.
I got a question from a friend that is myself.
Oh.
A friend known as myself.
Wow.
Somebody asked us a couple shows ago. What will be the Thursday news dump?
Oh, has there been a lot of that?
For a few of the 3 of the past 6 weeks, there has been something that has happened after FRL. My guess is Ironman.
Yeah, Ironman's
just
cool.
because it seems the most likely.
Ironman's getting rocked up.
Yeah.
Or somebody's going to enter the portal, or
Also,
somebody's going to be out for the year.
somebody on Twitter was
say that.
was asking us about Ironman entering the portal, but spelled it porthole,
Porthole,
like
yes.
the tiny window on a
He
boat.
was voice chatting.
It could have been voice chatting.
I chalked those up to voice.
I can't get out of my head the image of Jaydin Eierman just like looking through one of those tiny ship windows at whoever, So
Oh, hey.
Yeah, let's show it.
We got some more breaking.
there we go.
Watching his very first FRL, maybe, young Hayden Thomas Brackey. Look at this adorableness.
Wow.
Sitting on Papa's lap there.
What a stud.
He's got the boys pulled up. Thank you, Kyle. Thank you, Olivia, for sharing this precious moment. Wow, look at him. Growing struck. Starting off right.
That's good.
What a cute little guy. So happy fatherhood and motherhood to the Brackeys. We miss you dearly, but are glad you're enjoying this time.
Also, fans watching on various social media channels, friends, please make sure to direct your thanks to Papa Bear, who is at home,
Papa Brackey.
still working
Dad
his
Key.
dang tail off. Yeah, Dad Key.
Yeah, Bracky's not quite a Papa Bear. But
I
he's
don't
not
know.
bearish.
Yeah,
I don't know.
He needs a little more heft to him.
got to get a few more pizzas in him.
Yeah, a couple more dues, a
Yeah.
couple more.
All right, so Bracky, CP wants you to get fat before we can start
What?
calling you Papa Bear.
I'm not saying I want him to get fat, but for a Papa Bear nickname, I'm going to need a little more heft, a little more girth to him.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Well, actually, one more question, and then we're really going to go.
All right.
I'm not even going to explain it. AZ Wrestling fan, are you guys not giving Nato and Cruz enough credit? We didn't even talk about Nishan's at the Farrell.
Dude,
Oh,
come
yeah.
on.
All right, hold on. We're going to be another half hour. Caleb, sorry.
Back it up.
I hope you're not hungry or thirsty or need to use a restroom because we got another little bit here. Nishan Garrett's going to the Bill Farrell at 57 kilowatts, which will have Soriano and Gross and Nathan Tomasello and Cruz. And AZ Wrestling, Arizona Wrestling fans hey, what about Nato and Cruz? You're not giving them enough credit. Expecting them to finish behind Soriano and Gross. Sure, that's fair. Nato was when Nato was healthy, he was seconds from beating Gilman. That was 2017.
Yeah.
Nato has since been injured and gone through other things, and we haven't seen him reach that level. And even that level was below the level, right? Cruz looked really good this year in freestyle. Agree, but I just think what kind of the point I was making earlier when you're making predictions, you are predicting the best version of that guy, and I think Gross best version and Soriano best version are better than Soriano or better than Tomasello and Cruz best version.
Yeah, the thing for me with Cruz is, you hear Isaiah Martinez talk about how he got a lot better being on the national team, being able to go to the camps. You hear Mike Machiavello talk about how he got a lot better being able to go to the camps and travel. Could we see that similar jump from Cruz? But that is just, could we see it? We don't know that for sure. And we don't know Tomasello's health either. So, yeah, sure, maybe we're disrespecting those guys a little bit.
I've been watching Nathan Tomasello lift weights for the last couple months now. He looks healthy to me. Coach Myers, gut check, old school gym, Ohio. I've been watching him.
They move some weight around in that gym.
Lots of weights moved. He also looks strong, yet you can tell he's in 57 kilogram mode.
Yeah.
'Cause he's not full Ninja Turtle mode. He's
What? Yeah.
he hasn't been pounding the pizzas like Raphael. He's been his body is optimized for making 57. Now, but what we have to talk about is where does Nishan Garrett fixing this? You want to talk best version?
Yeah.
That dude, oh boy. Because he's I think for Soriano, if I'm thinking this is a tough matchup, because I think athletically, Soriano is really, really special here. I could see Nishan posing problems here. However, I just think about, like, with Gilman was like, is Nishan's kind of kryptonite there. He's like, I don't think he's ever beaten him. So, and we saw Tony Ramos has beaten Nishan Garrett several times. I feel like that style, not that Soriano's necessarily Ramos, but just like good positionally, sound tough to get to, tough to break through, solid head hands. It could be a more surprising good matchup for Soriano than maybe we realize.
Yeah. Nomad put, I think it was Nomad in the chat yesterday, the match between on Twitter.
Yes.
Seth Gross and Nishan.
The last in 2018, Nishan Garrett and Seth Gross wrestled in the U.S. Open semifinals, and it was a snoozer. It was 31 points.
31 points.
And then a couple weeks later, they wrestled.
Redskins haven't scored 31 this year.
The whole year. Then a couple weeks later, World Team Trials, they wrestled, and a little, they held back a little bit and only scored 28.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So, I mean, the reason I want to bring those up is, one, like, Nishan Garrett, dude, you got to watch that guy every second he's on the mat. But also, he had, coming out of college, zero freestyle experience, all the ability to score in the world, but the ability to prevent people from scoring, he had not yet developed. And you see that in a match with a guy like Gross. Is he any more positionally solid than he has been? The other question is, I mean, you keep seeing all these videos go up of Nishan and Yanni rolling around in the Cornell room, and those guys. I mean, like, what does it mean when Nishan, who was at Cornell but moved to Arizona State, now is back at Cornell and is rolling with a guy like Yanni all the time? Like, will we see a few tricks that we are not used to with Nishan? And that's really interesting to me.
Nishan is so incredible to me as a guy who, for his whole career, may be the most intriguing guy every time he enters a tournament.
Yeah.
That is hard to do.
Yeah.
To maintain that level of potential and, like, anticipation every single time you step in a tournament. Yeah. That is difficult.
And we've seen a variety of, remember, this guy made the team in 18. In 2017, he went 0-2 at World Team Trials.
Lost to Cruz and Pirelli, I believe.
Cruz and Pirelli. It's not like he hit Gilman Nato, right? So the variance here, but I think being back at Cornell, he moved there for a reason, right? Mm-hmm. There's a reason he went there. And I think he knows it's the environment for him, and Coach Gray and Yanni is a training partner. I think it's going to be nothing but good things for him. And there's a lot of good partners there down the line. I think Chaz Tucker's a good guy for Nishan.
I think if you could pick one, just like
Vito,
oh man,
oh,
that's amazing. If you could pick one training partner, regardless of weight, Yanni might be the best. Like, he might be the best training partner.
Yanni's up there. J.O.'s up there.
J.O. is up there.
Well, I don't know. What are we saying?
Like, in terms of a guy that's going to show you
a variety of
looks, a guy who's going to, like, want to be in there and roll every single time.
I'll say Yanni for that.
You know what I mean? A guy who wants to get better just as much as he wants to see you get better. Especially when you're not a competing weight class. Sure. I feel like a guy who just, like, consumes the sport constantly.
Yeah.
Yanni would be one of the best partners I think you could find.
Absolutely. So yeah, more Farrell heat. Man, it is going to be insane. I'm starting to get mad. I'm not going. Whatever. Happy for David and Mike Mal, and someone else is going. Daniel Roy Lobdell Jr. is going.
This guy.
Mm-hmm.
Dang it. Just surrounded by Farrell goers. You Farrell barn cats. All right, Caleb, we're really ready to go. Thank you guys so much for listening to 425 episodes. We know you've listened to every single one of these. Every single one of you has listened to every single one, and that means the most to us. We'll be back next Tuesday, where the headline will be something.
Man.
That's a new bit.
I propose a new segment.
New bit.
At the close of every Thursday show. Tuesday's headline will be blank.
Will be
Jaden Ironmen to the Iowa Hawkeyes.
Oh. All right, we'll go with that one.
Well, now you got to have one.
Okay. This would be crazy. It's got to be a little out there. I'll say JoJo Aragona, number 2 in the country.
Whoa.
Wow. Okay.
Beat that insanity.
I'm going to go Tuesday headline. Zahid Valencia opens up his year with 5 pins.
5 pins?
Wow. Wait, how many pins?
5 pins.
Okay, that's something. I'm like, oh yeah, it was Zahid. All right, I'll take it. It's still.
You get 5 or 6 pins?
5 pins, Taylor Vins.
Yeah.
Okay. I love it. All right. I'm sorry.
Hodge race back on. Well, not that it wasn't never on, but we just hadn't seen Zahid yet.
He already canceled it.
Yeah.
But it's back on.
Yeah, Zahid Valencia with 5-6 pins open the year.
Wow. If he does that in 4 matches, I will be utterly impressed.
Yep.
6 pins in 4 matches for Zahid. That's Nomad's headline. Thanks so much, guys. We'll see you next time. Have a good weekend.